Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Microbiology Easy Notes. If you like this channel, please like, subscribe, comment and share. Today's topic of class is development of microbiology as a discipline. Ever since humans existed, diseases have been a part of life, even taking lives away. Back in the day, people did not know what is the actual cause of illnesses. They often thought bad air, an imbalance of bodily fluids, evil spirits, or some bad actions of the person is the reason behind disease, and illness was treated based on those beliefs. Before microscopes were invented, people were unaware of microorganisms and their potential to cause deadly diseases. The invention of the microscope established microbiology as a distinct subject. Birth of microbiology actually begins in 17th century. Robert Hooke, an English polymath with expertise in various fields, used his microscope to observe different objects. He meticulously recorded his observation in his book Micrographia. One fine day in 1665, he examined a thin slice of cork under the microscope and discovered numerous tiny empty box-like compartments. He compared these boxes to small individual rooms or cells similar to those monks lived in monasteries. This simple descriptive term, cell, became the universal name for the basic unit of life. Robert Hooke's book Micrographia was a sensation. Antoine van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch trapper with no formal scientific training, was inspired to take up microscopy after seeing a copy of Micrographia. He was so captivated by the idea of this hidden world that he began grinding his own lenses, eventually creating single-lens microscopes that were far more powerful and had better resolution than Hooke's compound microscope. Using this simple microscope, he observed his tooth scrapings and noticed tiny moving creatures. He named them animalcules. Over 200 letters detailing his findings were sent to the Royal Society in London between 1674 and 1723 over a 50-year period. What he actually saw were bacteria and protists. This discovery is considered the birth of microbiology, and he is regarded as its father. Hooke built the stage, and Leeuwenhoek was the first to truly see the actors upon it. Prior to this discovery, Aristotle proposed a theory known as spontaneous generation. This theory suggested that non-living objects could spontaneously give rise to living ones if sufficient moisture and heat were present. It held sway until the early 20th century. In 1668, Francisco Redi challenged the ancient belief that maggots and flies originated from meat. His experiment demonstrated that maggots develop from flies, not from decaying matter. Redi conducted his experiment using 3 jars. Each jar contained a piece of meat. He left the first jar open, sealed the second jar tightly, and covered the third jar with a neckcloth. After a few days, he observed that the tightly sealed second jar contained no flies, while the first jar had many flies on the meat. The third jar also had many flies and maggots, but only on the neckcloth, not inside the jar. Redi concluded that flies could not enter the tightly sealed jar, so flies and maggots were not originating from the meat. This disproved the theory that life arises from non-living matter. In 1768, Lazzaro Spallanzani conducted an experiment to refute the theory of spontaneous generation. He ran 2 parallel tests using animal and plant matter infused broth. He vigorously boiled the broth for a sufficient time and then kept one jar open while sealing the other. After a few days, he observed cloudy growth in the open jar but no growth in the sealed jar. Spallanzani concluded that heating the broth killed all the animalcules present, while the open jar allowed air to reach and the animalcules in the air caused microbial growth. This disproved the doctrine of spontaneous generation. English physician and scientist Edward Jenner pioneered the world's first vaccine. The smallpox vaccine earned him the title Father of Immunology. He observed that local milkmaids who contracted cowpox, a mild disease with few symptoms, seemed immune to the deadly smallpox. To test this theory, Jenner conducted his landmark experiment on May 14, 1796. He took fluid from a cowpox blister on Sarah Names, a milkmaid, and scratched it into the skin of 8-year-old James Phipps. James developed a mild fever and a blister but quickly recovered. 2 months later, on July 1, Jenner exposed the boy to the smallpox virus. James remained immune, proving his theory. In his 1798 publication, Jenner coined the term vaccine from the Latin word vacca, meaning cow, to describe this new procedure. The era from 19th century to 20th century is known as the golden era of microbiology. Major achievements in this era were discovery of pathogens, development of pure culture techniques, and staining methods. In 1862, French chemist Louis Pasteur challenged the spontaneous generation theory by conducting experiments with gooseneck flasks. He observed that contaminants settle at the bottom of the curved neck, preventing growth in the broth. When he broke the neck, he noticed growth, indicating that microbes could reach the broth. He also observed growth when he tilted the flask, allowing microbes to access the broth. These experiments demonstrated that life generation is not spontaneous. In 1862, he suggested that mild heating of liquid at 60.8 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes rather than boiling was enough to destroy the undesirable organisms without ruining the taste of the product. The process was called pasteurization. This work led to the development of the germ theory of disease. Later, Pasteur found out that fermentation of fruits and grains and production of alcohol is due to the microbes. Even microbes can spoil the alcohol. Pasteur also invented vaccine for chicken cholera, anthrax, and rabies. Earlier microbiologists were using wax or cork to seal the flasks. This was a problem because it created an airtight environment that killed aerobic bacteria. Alternatively, leaving flasks open led to the inevitable contamination. Then George Schroeder and Theodore von Deutsch first time introduced the idea of using cotton plugs for plugging microbial culture tubes. This was the simple but genius invention, which not only supported the growth of desired microorganisms but also stopped contamination. In 1876, German physician Robert Koch isolated Bacillus anthracis bacteria, the causative agent of anthrax. He also discovered the causative pathogen behind cholera and TB. He introduced the use of solid culture media in 1881 by using gelatin as a solidifying agent. He proposed Koch postulates, which were published in 1884 and are the cornerstone of the germ theory of diseases and are still in use today to prove the etiology of an infectious disease. Angelina Hess, one of Koch's assistants, first proposed the use of agar in culture media. She got this idea while working in the kitchen using agar as an ingredient of the recipe. Fanny Angelina Hess' contribution may seem simple, but it was transformational. Without agar, modern microbiology labs as we know them would not exist. Koch, another assistant, Richard Petrie, in 1887 developed the Petri dish, a container used for solid culture media. Richard Petrie's invention of the Petri dish provided a controlled environment for microbial growth, making it one of the most essential tools still used in every microbiology lab. Joseph Lister was a British surgeon and medical scientist in 1865, inspired by Pasteur's work showing that airborne microbes cause putrefaction. Joseph Lister introduced carbolic acid as the first widely used antiseptic in surgery. He used carbolic acid solution for cleaning wounds, sterilizing surgical instruments, and for soaking surgical dressings. He also used carbolic acid as disinfectant spray to sterilize operation theatre. The impact was dramatic. Before Lister, post-operative infection was so common. After implementing his antiseptic technique, Lister reduced his ward's post-surgical mortality rate from 45% to 15%. In 1884, Hans Christian Gram, a Danish bacteriologist, developed Gram staining technique. This was one of the most significant and enduring contributions to microbiology, a fundamental technique that revolutionized the classification and identification of bacteria. It is still widely used method for primary identification of bacteria. In 1879, French microbiologist Charles Chamberlain at the Pasteur Institute in Paris invented the autoclave. This device was designed to sterilize laboratory equipment by using high pressure steam at 121 to 134 degrees Celsius. This eliminated all microbes, including resistant spores, surpassing earlier methods like boiling. In 1899, Martinus Wilhelm Viering very first time discovered an isolated virus while he was working on tobacco mosaic disease. He called the virus Contagium vivum fluidum and later named it virus. Due to this contribution, he is known as father of virology. Viering invented the enrichment culture technique, a revolutionary method for isolating specific microorganisms from the environment. In 1888, he discovered and isolated nitrogen-fixing bacteria Azotobacter and Rhizobium. He was the first to isolate disulfovibrio disulfuricans, a bacterium that uses sulfate instead of oxygen for respiration. In 1911, American virologist Francis Petun Rouse at the Rockefeller Institute discovered that viruses can cause cancer. Rouse plays a key role in defining the progression of cancer. He realized that a virus or chemical could initiate the process, but other factors known as promotion were necessary for tumor growth. He also co-developed a solution of citrate and sugar that enabled blood to be refrigerated and stored for weeks without clotting or spoiling. This innovation led to the creation of the world's first blood bank. Felix Hubert de Hurley, a French-Canadian microbiologist, and British bacteriologist Frederick Trott research work led to the discovery of bacteriophages in 1919. De Hurley also used bacteriophages for therapy of dysentery. In 1923, the first edition of Bergey's Manual of Determinative Bacteriology was published, superheaded by David Bergey and an editorial committee under the patronages of the American Society for Microbiology. It is a comprehensive resource that provides detailed descriptions of all known species of bacteria and archaea, offering a systematic framework for identifying unknown species and understanding their evolutionary relationships. In 1928, Frederick Griffith, who was a British bacteriologist, discovered bacterial transformation. This work fundamentally changed the understanding of genetics and led to the groundwork for identifying DNA as the molecule of heredity. In 1928, Alexander Fleming, a Scottish bacteriologist, accidentally discovered penicillin and identified its antibacterial properties. Later, Howard Florey and Ernst Chain at Oxford University developed methods for large-scale production and purification of penicillin. In 1930, Max Knoll and Ernst Riska, the German physicist, invented the electron microscope. It was a revolutionary instrument that allowed scientists to see viruses for the first time and fundamentally changed the course of microbiology. In 1939, Ernst Riska and colleagues were the first to capture an image of tobacco mosaic virus, proving that these invisible pathogens had a physical form. In 1943, S.E. Luria and M. Delbruck discovered spontaneous mutation in bacteria. This discovery clarified that bacteria acquire resistance through random spontaneous mutations, not as a direct response to a stressor. In 1944, S. Waxman, A. Schatz, and E. Bougie discovered streptomycin. This was the first effective antibiotic against tuberculosis. It was discovered through a systematic search of soil microbes. In 1946, Joshua Lederberg and E. L. Tatum discovered that bacteria can exchange genetic material through direct cell-to-cell contact, a process they call conjugation. In 1951, Andy Jinder and J. Lederberg discovered that a virus can transfer DNA from one bacterium to another via a process called transduction. In 1952, J. Lederberg and E. M. Lederberg invented replica plating technique, a simple method to easily replicate bacterial colonies, making it possible to isolate mutants without exposing them to selective agents. In 1953, J. D. Watson and F. H. C. Crick proposed the double helix model for DNA, explaining how genetic information is stored and copied. These remarkable contributions significantly advanced microbiology as a subject. These slides covers all the discoveries and inventions made between 1665 and 1953. In part 2, we will explore developments in microbiology after that period.